Hey guys, it's Melanie Hinds, your fastest Iraqi dinar summary on the net. We had a great live stream this morning. All the timestamps are up. Thanks to Sabrina. Thank you for the mods for keeping the chat clean on my lives. I did 3 lives yesterday. I'm doing this because I have a appointment. I have a dentist appointment and the dog trainer's coming, which we desperately need her to come. And guys, there were a lot of articles. I think there were 18 I went over. So I'm going to give you the gist of it, highlight a couple of them. One of the biggest ones was the first one that said the CBI fines banks and institutions over 41 billion IQD in fines in just the first quarter of 2025. Their reporting's much quicker than it ever was with the older system. I think they got the brand new system, guys. That's what this is all riding on. It's a brand new central bank system, digital financial system that includes AI. So if you're not aware of that, please subscribe and tap the bell. I think that's where it's coming from. I think the politics are out of it at this point. I think it's all going to come when they want it to just be released. And I'm gonna give you my summary of my articles as fast as possible. The other thing was Iraqi dinar rose today as the USD demand drops. That's because, guys, they're not allowed to do business inside of Iraq using the US dollar. Just like we don't do a lot of business here using other countries' currencies. It's typical when you've got a first world country like Iraq is. The Sunni clerics cancel the Mosul demonstrations after political assurances. That's pretty good. They're canceling a planned demonstration in November around their elections. That was huge news. Iraqi's Ramadi farmers, there's some farmers that feel like they were left out. That's an article I went through in detail. I'm praying for those farmers. Turkey appoints a former minister as special envoy to Iraq. That was good news. There's some shifting political parties. A new digital gateway. Iraq launches the first unified telecom transit route. Guys, this is huge. It sets the stage for the digital platforms at the border, all the way through the banking system, through to the voting system. It's all encompassing. Nobody's ever conceived of this kind of a system before. This is it's first really placed in Iraq. So I think from Iraq, it's going to Turkey. It's going all over. Google Maps renames the Persian Gulf during nuclear talks to the Arabian Gulf, which is kind of funny. What does that sound like? I don't know. What does that sound like to you? Obviously, there was a new pope too today. That happened. New pope, but they don't know who he is. It's going to take about an hour to reveal him because there's a process. Popely process. So I will be at my dentist appointment. So by the time you see this, he will not be announced yet, but I did want you to know a white smoke. Again, thanks to Sabrina for watching out for that. Again, there's another article about the USD IQD exchange rate dipping in Baghdad and Erbil. Guys, it's going to be dipping. That's the point. They're supposed to get rid of the dollars. The Baghdad mayoralty, I can't even say that name. It's something about morality, launches tourism program for delegations attending the Arab Summit. All eyes are focused on the new Arab Summit. Trump is leaving Monday. He said he'd make a major announcement. He did announce from his Oval Office, most transparent president in my lifetime. From the Oval Office, he announced with all his people standing there that they made a trade deal with the UK and the prime minister there. What do you think about that? Comment down below. The heads of the SJC, president of the Federal Board of Supreme Audit. They have a federal board of supreme audits. Guys, there's auditors all over Iraq. I talk about that because my experience as an auditor, that's why God put me here to help you with this. So anyways, they discussed a number of common issues. They didn't say exactly what those were, but those audits are the key for the security and stability that you're seeing as being touted with Iraq. Iraq is synonymous with security and stability. So much so, they were chosen as the Arab tourism capital of 2025. That's why they're holding their, summit there. Al-Yashiri sponsors the signing of a contract to pass communications traffic through the transit method with the Kurdish DIL. Meta was named in that too, I think, or there was another article. There was an article where Meta was named. But this only contracts inside of Iraq can be signed right now. No international contacts right now because they don't have an international rate. You need to understand that. That's why they say agreements and MOUs. Baghdad launches unprecedented preparations to host the new Arab Summit. Guys, they're doing everything. They're cleaning everything. It's like, they just like you would do for a big party. Al Sudani arrives in Ankara on official visit. Yes, he did arrive there this morning. Federation of Trade Unions, Arab Summit in Baghdad is going to strengthen Iraq's economic and developmental standing. And the CBI has been quoted as saying they're about to launch something imminent that will help them be economically stable, because it's just as important as security and stability and political stability. And the CBI has said that as much January, February, and March of this year. So we're waiting to see the rate change, which is, of course, going to be the last piece. Washington has acknowledged the IAEA and CIA assessments that Iran does not possess nuclear weapons. That is a huge win for peace in the Middle East between the U.S. and Iran. Evidently, Washington is accepting what the IAEA said, a separate council, and the CIA, you know who the CIA works for, that they do not have nuclear weapons. So that's a positive process. I think even Trump chimed in on that article, and I read it again this morning. See the timestamps. The other article, you see how many articles I'm getting? I'm breaking news. Please subscribe and tap the bell so you get the latest here. I also cover everybody else in as quick as possible. Not easy to do. Prime Minister discusses extension of fiber optic cable across Iraqi territory with Meta. This is the one with Meta. Okay, Meta, Facebook is Meta, right? So they're doing fiber optic cables all over Iraq. Why? Because they're going to have a biometric voting system, because it just wait and see what this all entails. Only the uppity ups, the muckety mucks that go through Iraq get to see this, or see it being implemented in Turkey, probably Syria. I mean, every country's got to be in this system so that this can all roll out synonymously. The last article was Minister of the Environment. Iraq has begun taking preparatory steps in preparation for COP30. That is the whole environmental cause that everybody that is associated with the world banking system and the global banking system and the International Monetary Fund and the Bank of International Settlements, everybody that's associated with this global banking system has to be aware of those projects and be trying to at least reach those objectives. Which I love the environment, why not? Frank 26, now we go in the summary of everybody else. 7 minutes in, 7 minutes was all my intel, breaking news. You can get all the details if you look at my live stream. I will link it at the end of this video, I think. Then you can go to the timestamps or hyperlinks. Just click on the blue number to go to whichever article. They're in order of what I just went through. Frank 26 article, Trump teases very, very big announcement ahead of the Middle East trip. I don't think just the UK deal was the big announcement, but he teased that, yes. Carney says he's on the edge of his seat. This announcement may be related to the Iraqi. This one wasn't related to the Iraqi dinar. I watched it. Now we may go to Baghdad. This is seriously swelling up for a reason, on purpose. Let's see what it turns out to be. Let's see what his announcement is. It's either about Iran or Iraq. That's what's on his mind, to play fair with the American currency. It's either Iran or Iraq. You never know. I'll take either one. Well, nobody expected it to be a UK trade deal, but I'm glad they got a trade deal going, because you know he's experiencing all sorts of rhetoric that isn't true, in my opinion. Mountain Goat, when the new rate for the Iraqi dinar is reinstated on Forex, it will happen to the entire world at once, no matter what time zone. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. That's why I've been saying you can do a safe exchange. Check out the pinned comment for my freedom strategies. There goes a bumblebee. I love bumblebees. They pollinate everything. We need bumblebees. Lord Jesus, bless the bumblebees. So anyways, I like Mountain Goat's perspective on this. It will happen all at once. There will be no insider trading. When Forex opens, it opens. There are no such tiers for exchanging or redemption centers. We will all be conducting a simple currency exchange at a bank. Boom! Booyah! If you want to figure out how to find a bank that can do it in your presence, which is the key, you need to check out my freedom strategies. And then you can be safe and you can negotiate properly, because once it hits 4X, it will go up and down. So you need to know that about the timing, so you know when to go to the bank. I'm just saying. Mark Z says, I am getting many reports from banks that they are learning to process dinar, dong, and Indonesian rupiah. Internal reports saying, hey, we are going to be accepting these currencies. They don't tell us the rate, just that they are going to be accepting them. That's huge. That means they know what's coming. Bankers high up know this. I love Mark Z because he's always got unique intel contacts. That's why we listen to everybody, guys. Everybody's got a piece of this. We should all honor each other. We don't, but I do. I honor everybody because that's a Christian thing to do. They don't tell us the rate. They just look at, they're going to be accepting them. This is step number 1 in his book. They train them on these currencies so they are ready for the revaluation. This is clear evidence we're moving towards completion. That's why you hear some of these crazy good bank stories. They're aware of them now. Other people that didn't think it was true, they're traders and stuff, are seeing things happening, and now they're a believer in the Iraqi dinar will revalue. Guys, it all depends on what you focus on, right? I hope you will join me. I teach people how to manifest their prayers. Bruce says, via Wiser now. I caught President Trump at the midst of a press conference where he was talking about trade deals, and then all of a sudden he changed gears and he said there's going to be an earth-shattering announcement that will affect America and its people. He said in the next few days, one of our sources, and just be ready for Thursday. So I'm excited about that's really good news. Guys, what do you think? Do you think his announcement of the UK trade deal was the big thing, or is there something else? What do you think? So now Frank 26, I'm going to read this because I say this all the time. This is where the lifting of the zeros is coming from. It's not coming directly from the currency, although they may do redenominations in country. This is really about the Iraqi citizens, not us anyway, but I'm going to read this. Frank 26 was quoted as saying, we have learned once again that Iraq has admitted from last year that they are lifting the value from the currency by removing zeros from their exchange rate. He admitted it to the citizens and to the world that they are lifting 3 zeros and adding purchasing power to the currency. Will this be this year or next year? We believe it'll be this year. I don't know, but it's now a fact for Iraq's life that they are lifting the 3 zeros from their exchange rate to add value to their economy. This is just what I've always said because that's the way it works. And Fun Lou goes, they have one shot to pull this off, and I assure you they will not squander it. We will have an RV, but the entirety of the geopolitical world are in a tizzy, and it's not going to get better for a while. If Trump is as smart as people believe him to be, he will successfully rearrange the global markets and pull a reset almost unimaginable. It's about time someone had the huevos to do what has been needing to be done for most of my rather long life. We agree, Fun Lou. Militiaman, it's not the central bank's job to tell you when to revalue. No, it's not them to tell you when it's going to happen. They're not going to tell you what rate is going to be. There could be indicators. Let them do what they do. The cool part is we can see they are moving towards a digitalization of the government, the borders, and what they talked about launching a digital dinar. And we have the IMF talking about using dinar in foreign transfers. Let that sink in. Militiaman, you and I are so close on our thinking, detailed wise. I don't know what your background is, but I was an auditor. I'm a financial person. I've always been a numbers person, so much so I was a math major, computer science minor. I love looking at numbers. Today's value of today is 22, which is miracle signs and wonders. You should look it up. Acts 2:22. It's the only verse of scripture that has miracle signs and wonders in the same verse. I'm just saying. Claire, the United Nations and 18 countries meet with the Iraqi banking sector. Yep, we reported on that detailed article. I can't remember which day. All my days run together. I did 3 lives alone yesterday. Please subscribe, tap the bell, just because I'm the hardest working Dinarian, the expert in dinar. And not just dinar, crypto, other foreign currencies. Stay diversified. That's Ecclesiastes 11 verse 1. Read the book. It's wisdom to stay diversified. Also gold and silver. Whatever trips your trigger, make sure you diversify your money as soon as you get it. I give you 3 steps to a safe exchange and how to take the money and run, all in one package for just $55. Check the pinned comment down below. So I love you all. I'm gonna load this and then head to my dentist appointment, and then we have a dog training appointment. So I will be done after that. I love you all. May the peace of Christ always rule and reign in your life. May you appreciate this. May you subscribe and tap the bell. God bless.